Hi, my name is Todd Bigelow. Thanks for stopping in. This is just a short informal video series on business topics for freelance photographers. I've been a freelancer for 30 years. I'm a contributing photographer to Contact Press Images. I'm an adjunct professor of photography and photojournalism, the founder of the Business of Photography Workshop, and most recently, the author of the Freelance Photographer's Guide to Success Business Essentials. Thanks for stopping in, and I hope you enjoy the series. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping back in. I want to talk today very specifically about one thing you can do to help your images come up in a Google search as licensable photographs, okay? With the obvious intent of creating some licensing income for you and getting eyes on your photography, if nothing else. Okay, so what can you do? You should create, if you haven't already, a page on your website specifically devoted to licensing and permissions, okay, of your content, of your images. I did that several years ago when Google announced that they were going to put these badges, an identifier, on Google search thumbnails when an image is indeed licensable. But Google needs to know that. So the main way that I recommend that you do this is, again, by creating a page on your website devoted specifically to licensing and permissions. On my page, I talk about how to license my images. I actually have a little video on there that quickly shows if you're going to license directly through my website for some of the images that are available for direct licensing, how to do it. I obviously link to go ahead and email me with some information, and I'll respond with, a licensing quote. So it's basically a very, straightforward page devoted to information that anybody's looking for when they're going to license my images, okay? I take the URL from that specific page on my website and I place it in the IPTC of all of my images. And especially the last couple years, that URL, that link to that specific licensing and permissions page is automatically embedded when I ingest my images. When I download them into Photo Mechanic, that's a standard piece of my metadata, and it's automatically applied on every single image. Okay? So where do you place it? I place it in 3 areas. I place it in the usage rights box, I place it in what's called the web statement, and I place it in the licensor URL, okay? The web statement and licensor URL are very important, okay? Those are search engine optimized sections, okay? The usage rights, I just put it in there because if anybody does decide to look on a usage rights section, they'll see that they can click on that or, copy and paste that into their web browser and they'll land on my licensing page, okay? But definitely the licensor URL and the web statement section, place the link to your licensing and permissions page. That is going to give the information to Google that they need to place that licensing badge and licensing details information when your images come up when somebody searches and finds them, okay? Once they see that, they're going to click on it. They're going to land back on your website. They're going to land on your website after finding the images on Google. That's what you want, right? That's how we develop licensing revenue. I've seen this happen. I analyze my website. I see that, lately people have been searching a lot for a story I shot a couple years ago on tennis in Compton that has generated a lot of renewed interest because of the film that Will Smith just did, King Richard, which deals with the Williams sisters growing up and playing tennis in Compton. I did a story on that a couple years ago. Those images have created quite a bit of traffic to my website. Okay, so it's important that you have that information on there, because if an editor lands on Google, does a Google search and sees that licensing badge or licensing details, obviously they're going to know, okay, there's an archive, there's some images, that's what I'm looking for. Let me click on this and see what I need to do to get those images. that's how, it's an important part of how to develop licensing revenue. And even if they don't license, you're getting new eyes on your website, new eyes on your work, and that's always a good thing. Okay, so hopefully that's some new information that you can use to kind of help generate some interest in your work and specific images. I highly recommend it. It's been very helpful, and you should definitely do that. And if you're not sure how to create that extra page, reach out. If you have a photo shelter archive, ask them. It's not difficult to do, but you should definitely have that page devoted specifically to licensing and permissions on your site. Okay, hope that helps. I talk about this extensively in my workshop, also in the book, so feel free to drop in on a workshop if you can. Pick up the book if you haven't already. Okay, thanks so much for stopping in, you guys, and I will see you again next time.